It is indeed my honor to welcome you to the University of Findlay as we give thanks for the imitable Michael G. Oxley. And it's clear to all of us that throughout his extraordinary life, Mike served admirably in numerous capacities. In his family, as son, brother, husband, father, father-in-law, and grandfather to the amazing Max. In his professional work, in his volunteer service and leadership, and in friendship. A.R. Carnes, current chair of the University of Findlay Board, said this about our sad loss. We will not have benefit of Mike's leadership and voice of reason when we are debating issues. He always had a way to separate the wheat from the chaff.
In high school, Bob Troopy, Mike, and I were chosen to attend Buckeye Boys State, an 8-day hands-on clinic for high school boys to learn the nuts and bolts of democratic government. We had no Google or Wikipedia, and I was overwhelmed with all the nuances of the election process, let alone all the ways our government functions. With Mike around, Bob and I had no better tutor and advisor to school us about how it all worked and how we could fit in. He naturally made friends and developed inclusive networks of diverse people since grade school. He used his extensive sports knowledge and great sense of humor to bring people together. He had a natural instinct for current events, history, and politics, which he honed with a bright and diligent mind. He was always honest and loyal. He was a great friend who will be greatly missed.
One of the things that I loved about Mike is he kind of appreciated my strange sense of humor. And he could understand it, I guess. Maybe some can. But I remember one day I said to Mike, I said, Mike, you're a chairman in Congress now. You're a big shot. The Republicans are running the White House, and I'm a judge. I said, I don't want you to think that you necessarily have to get me a federal judgeship. And he just dryly says, don't worry, I won't. I said we didn't have to answer quite that quickly. I've often, in serious note, was just amazed at what Mike was able to, accomplish during his lifetime. And one of the things that struck me, after Mike passed, and all the great tributes to him that was written in the paper, and the thing that struck me more than anything were the comments that came from people on the other side of the aisle, how he was able to work with these people. Mike really loved people. And he loved Democrats too. And you can see that when Barney Frank says a good word about you, you're working on both sides of the aisle. And I think as a result of that, he was able to accomplish all the things that he did. When I just think of all the things, when I think of the Lima Tank Plant, Route 30, I think of Marathon. Would Marathon be in Findlay today if Mike wouldn't cross the aisle and work with Howard Metzenbaum? I don't know. I don't think so. He changed the way we trade stocks. He changed the way we do business in the United States. And, for a little guy from Donnell, that's a pretty good accomplishment.
Some chairmen, and this goes back historically in our country, make the chairmanship about them. It's their chairmanship, it's their committee, and it's all about them. And that's not a Republican or Democrat thing. That's not a conservative or liberal thing. That's just a personality trait. Mike was just the opposite. Not only was it not about him, it was about the team. It was about everybody else, kind of like the athletic part of it. I mean, he was clearly one who wanted to be the manager of the team, but it was a team. And he didn't want to share, he didn't want to take the limelight. He wanted to share the limelight. He didn't want to take all the legislation. He wanted to share the legislation. And he treated all of us the same.
You know, there's a definition of character that I really like. It's, I guess, a couple thousand years old, and it's only one sentence, and I think it describes Mike Oxley to a T. It was from Aristotle, and he said this: "We are what we repeatedly do." We are what we repeatedly do. So it's not what we say, it's not the flourish, it's not the speeches, it's not what we try to make people believe, it's what we do. And Mike's habits, his daily actions, was what he was. He was a good friend as a habit. He was a great family member as a habit. He was a lifelong public servant. I think Bob Latta said it well. I mean, he was the kind of public servant who would walk in the room and say, "There you are," rather than "Here I am." That's what public service is about. He was always cheerful. Simply put, he was just one way, always, in good times and bad, in sickness and in health.